Why are we talking about this when the UFL playoffs are this weekend?
Hey, listen, I was watching some UFL yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was a good game until it wasn't.
I put it on and
Ended up being a
Gilbert
blowout.
said, I don't want to watch football. I'm like, all right.
Well, that's when you say, Gilbert, it's time for you to understand something. I'm the adult. I'll decide what we're watching. It's been a little too much of this lately,
But
I'm noticing.
he had good logic. He went, but it's my turn.
What are, no, but that's not good logic, because when it comes to adult child,
Right.
that whole turn thing doesn't work. That's for you at preschool. When you get home, the adults can be wonderful or they can be mean, but even if they're wonderful, they have the power. They've just decided to use their power for good.
I don't have to work on that. I usually just give in.
I think that I just saw this. Kids are just getting out of control in this country, and I think it's because whoever the institutions that tell parents what's best and how you raise your kids these days, it seems like free range. Just don't tell them that. Don't ever stop them, because you'll crush them somehow. And it's not good. It's not good for the parents. It's not good for the children. When kids act up, start acting inappropriately in public or at a gathering, or even, just causing way too much trouble before they go to bed at night. We know and have known for a long time that the best way to look at this as a parent, if you care about your children, is my kids are asking me, they want me to tell them where the line is. We're removing from children one way that they actually learn about the world and how to socialize and how to get along with others. And we're removing that by, in these early years, this philosophy of, no, don't crush their spirit. No, you don't want to crush their spirit, but the opposite of crushing their spirit isn't letting them do anything they want. I know as a parent that they're annoying every adult in this room, but the people that teach me how to parent tell me it's more important not to crush their soul. No, absolutely not. It's not good for you because you're going to be exhausted. And it's not good for the kids because you're actually taking away the way that they learn. That's the way I always looked at it. It's a great thing to do as a parent when your kids are getting on your nerves, is you look at them and go, oh, they're doing their job.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to do. And I always thinking of it as, oh, my child is asking me to let them know what the limits are. This is a way of learning. And if you don't, the reason I thought of this, because there's this headline about, where is it here? Fed up with screaming kids at dinner, more Americans support adults-only dining.
Yes.
See, when I was in a restaurant with my mother and father, no other diners had to worry about that happening ever.
Same.
It simply was not going to happen.
Because there were consequences.
There were consequences. And so, but out of that, you could say, oh, well, you're fearing your parents. No, what I was learning was you don't act like that in a restaurant. And if you remove my ability to learn that, then your life is going to be worse because your kids are just constantly going to be all over the place. And you've just removed the ability for your child to learn how to grow up. That's what growing up is. You're learning things. You do not have a fixed journey at 6. That's a 36-year-old deciding that. You're just like a sponge. And you're taking everything in. And if what you're taking in is there are no limits, I'm allowed to do whatever I want, and there are no consequences. My parents told me I wasn't going to get candy if I acted that way. I acted that way, and here I am eating the candy. So that's the first thing. If you're not willing to take away the candy, don't threaten it. But you can see where this is happening, where there's going to be more and more places where kids aren't allowed. That's not good for the kids because they lose an opportunity to learn and to learn how to become more sociable. If you can get this idea across to a kid, it's the best thing you can do for them, which is, just I've done this a few times. 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, like, hey, I'll let you in on something. If you want adults to give you almost anything, act properly. It freaks adults out. When you're a 6-year-old who walks into a room and has manners, adults pull out their billfold and start giving you money. Now, that's hard to do now because we don't really have a lot of money. But I have seen it.
Pull out your Venmo.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, you're asking a kid, like, you got Apple Cash?
I want to reward you for this.
Yeah, can I sell you? What's your email address?
But old people used to do this. They would see well-behaved children and they would give them $1 or $5, things like that.
I did it the other day, and the kid I gave it to was like, just $1?
I
was like, okay.
What's he going to buy with that? You
Well,
can't even get
there
candy.
has been inflation.
It's like a
But I
nickel
was
when
giving
we were
everybody
kids.
$1.
Yeah, I
Come on,
know.
at least a 10.
You just say, hey. You say, I think.
I was like, I'll take it back. Thank you.
I think, yeah. And by the way, the reason I gave you this $1, you've just shown me you don't deserve because you're rude.
Mine.
That's another thing to learn. To be disappointed in the moment and not let the other person know. See, if you remove these things, we don't learn how to become adults. And some of it, I think, is kind of lazy, where it's like, I just don't feel like dealing with it. But I think a lot of it is whatever the institutions, my kids are 28 and 42. So, I don't really know, about having kids these days. But there's always like schools and institutions and therapists and physicians that are giving parents advice. And the advice now just must be let them do whatever they want to do as long as they want to do it. And that's terrible. And it goes along with this at the same time, this idea that you can teach kids how to read through something called sight words. I mean, you might as well. Why did you have these kids? To condemn them to a horrible life? When you remove phonics, you are condemning your children. You're saying, hey, that thing that was a miracle that could teach anybody of sound mind and body how to read, yeah, we're going to get rid of that. Yeah, I guess it comes out of some patriarchal system we don't like. Sight words, memorizing words, not understanding what the words are or, pre shows up in this and pre shows up in that. And it kind of means the same thing, but different. And this is how your brain learns. It annoys the hell out of me.
I'm not aware that kids are not learning phonics.
There's a lot to look up sight words.
Well, I think that I have heard of sight words, but I think that we're still sounding things out and,
I hope so. Like I say, I don't have kids. I just read. That's all I do. And all this sight word nonsense, which I thought was killed off in the 90s when it didn't work in California, somehow made a comeback.
When you read stories like this, talking about how there's going to be adult-only experiences, one of my favorite things. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things to do as a kid.
Only.
Call now. One of my favorite experiences as a kid was I would piss the hell out of my mom off, and we would be going to dinner, and she's like, and we would be like fighting in the car, or something had happened at the house. And then the second we got to the dinner table with friends or family, you name it, I would turn into this angel.
Yeah,
and they were like,
you knew.
Look at Jared, he's so great. He's such a good kid. And I would like look at my mom and I'm like, look at this.
Look at that.
Mom's like, he's not so great. He's a liar. Is what
Believe me, as I accepted money from strangers, I heard my mom saying the same thing in the background. Alex Williams says 85 North is